man, music.
Now, my only question is, did you expand on what you had? Like, because it sounded like there was maybe only an hour to go last week. Have you figured a way to expand this so we're not just going to be done in an hour?
Find out. But yeah, no, I got it figured.
You got it figured?
Mm-hmm. I had a full session already in advance. So I was kind of speeding through it at the end. I was like, it's probably going to be a two-parter.
Cool.
Nice.
So, fire off when you're ready there, Panned. Panned? I don't know why I said it that way.
Panned.
I am up and going.
All right, so that's everything. Thanks for playing. No, I'm just kidding. We're just starting. Just want to see who was paying attention. We're on the wrong page, so we're going to go to the proper one. Here we go. Garnet Part 2. And we're going to ask for a supplementary log from our captain.
Fuck.
Don't worry, I do this.
No, that was the log. I think you misunderstood.
Yeah.
Don't understand. Captain's log supplemental. Fuck. No. Captain's log supplemental. The Kismet's investigation into the Ferengi-owned Freeport terminus Parazal has gone quite. Upon our arrival, we learned about a number of ships that were in the area. One of them was a Federation that, shortly after our arrival, was attacked by a Ferengi craft. We did the best we could to break the Kismet away from the space station, but it looked like our hosts weren't willing to leave. Fortunately, thanks to the quick actions of our helm, we were able to break away, but not in time to say what was.
That was the SS Martin's Reach.
We weren't in time to save the SS Martin's Reach. As it currently stands, there's a tense standoff between the Kismet and what was the Ferengi ship named?
Creto.
And the Ferengi vessel Creto. We're going to try to reach out again. Currently, no shots have been fired, but things are tense. End log.
In our first scene, we begin where we left off. As the Kismet was approaching, they were coming alongside the Martin's Reach. Ferengi had boarded, and then the Martin's Reach exploded, doing considerable damage to the Creto.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Huh. We tanked it like a mother.
Yeah. Shields.
Whoops, actually, that should be gone. It blew away. Creto's still there.
No.
Did the ship completely blow up? No wreckage?
Wreckage. There's wreckage, debris.
Okay. I'd like to scan that debris for cause of the explosion.
I want you to give me a scanning roll, which will require you to use 2 stats called Reason Science. It's going to be difficulty, I'm going to say 1, and it's assisted by Sensor Science.
Fuck, my mouse just stopped working. Hold on.
So what was
Yay!
1.
If the mouse isn't working, use the cat.
I make that roll automatically.
Yep.
I make that roll automatically because of my positronic brain.
Y'all.
So there is a success. I'll see how much momentum I get after I change the batteries out on this mouse.
And wait,
You might get complications.
huh?
That's true.
Yeah. Although, isn't there also the advanced sensor suite
Uh-huh.
that brings it down to difficulty 0?
Right,
That's
so
true.
we already have 1 momentum. Uh-huh.
See, Joan, this is why you never start out an episode of the Kismet or the Hadfield with a sensors roll.
Maybe you'll need those momentum.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
we
what I'm
will.
saying. Guys, quit. Don't look
Okay.
a gift horse in the mouth.
Hey GM, can I keep poking you to make things worse? Poke, poke.
Okay, that's 3 momentum.
Momentum.
And the ship?
And Yeah, ship. Got that. 3 momentum.
3 momentum. That's fine.
All right.
Processing. As I text you something, but feel free to roleplay while he's scanning.
Right, Captain. I'm trying to find the cause of the explosion.
Very good. Very good, Lieutenant. Lieutenant Duran, hail the Ferengi vessel.
Hailing.
For the hail, give me a control engineering difficulty 1, assisted by communications engineering.
All right.
Did we decide
Let's
I made it up to bridge?
Control engineering.
Yeah, I'd say so. By this time.
Difficulty. Fuck. Is that task roll or is it complication range?
It's task roll is 2, complication range is 1.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
do you have a focus that might help? Probably not. It's just a communications roll.
I mean,
unless
I have
you're-
infiltration, but that's
Nah.
okay. Then I'll
Hmm.
do that.
Preliminary scans detect an antimatter explosion, possibly from the warp core of the vessel.
Would you like to spend a momentum to ask whether like to?
I get some free questions, you know.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I'm a science officer.
Oh, that's right. You do get a free question.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry, just one free question. My bad. I thought you guys had high resolution.
No,
So you just have
I
the
get one.
Well, you can spend momentum, but you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Does get a free.
Oh yeah. Best
Yeah,
part of
one
science
free
officer right
question.
there.
Oh,
Mhm.
but is our power back up to 15 again?
I'll say yes. New scene.
Because I was gonna say, yeah, you're having us reset everything.
Including our power.
I don't think you
Nice.
guys even got damaged. I think you guys soaked it with just
Yeah, our
resistance when it blew
Yeah,
up.
we went down to 10 power,
Right,
I
but
think.
we had blown a few power to
Of course.
Mhm.
do
All right.
What's your free
Let's see.
question?
What is our question going to be?
Was it the
Yeah, I think was it the warp core of the SS Martin's Reach? My preliminary scan was partially incorrect, Captain. It appears it was not the warp core.
what was it?
Unknown.
Channel open, Captain.
Okay, let's see. That's wait, but did we also generate any momentum off of that
I think we did.
yeah,
It was typically 1 for the hail, so you got 2 momentum.
3. Or, wait, engines command. Why the hell is it engines command? It doesn't matter. I rolled a nat 1 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3 momentum?
No, we're
Mhm.
we're up to 5 now.
No?
No, because you're not counting the free success I get from Positronic Brain.
Yeah.
So 6.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's
Buddy gets a free
you have to
success.
manually take it into account because there's no way to add it on roll 20.
It is nuts. So that's yeah. Ship is receiving. What do we get?
Oh, you've hailed them. They and when you hail them, their system pings back that they're listening.
Oh, okay. Not on screen.
Yep, they haven't said anything back. The ship's just acknowledging that it hears you.
Ferengi vessel. This is the Federation starship Kismet. We demand an explanation.
Give me insight security or insight con. It is opposed.
Oh boy. You said insight security?
Or insight con.
Ugh, okay, I'll do insight security. Does diplomacy work?
I'll give it to you at increased complication.
How much increased?
Just 1.
What did you say the difficulty was?
It's opposed.
Oh, Then I'm gonna spend a momentum for this.
I'm gonna spend a threat.
Of course you are. 3. Okay.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So who's the attacker here?
I think that's me.
Threat and
I think it would
impasse.
be.
Actually, with a tie, both sides don't get what they want. But
Okay.
there is a sense of when you hail, there is a pause and a slight crackle over the line. You're not sure what that means, but something's not right. You're just not sure what.
What's the
Can I do
name?
anything
I
to-
keep forgetting the name of the vessel.
Krito?
Yeah. Credo.
Lieutenant Myth, scan the Creto.
Yes, sir. Scanning now.
And I'm going to spend a couple threat here.
Can I assist?
Hmm.
Great.
That will be a reason science difficulty 2. Difficulty
Come on.
3.
All right. I'll spend 1 momentum.
Is
Do
the
you
ship
like
assisting?
assistance?
With sensor science.
Okay,
Yep.
so difficulty 2 again.
Difficulty 2. Sensors. Science.
You already
Would
have
you
a
like-
success.
I already have a
Help with
success.
it?
Negative dot.
Ooh.
Oof. I
Sure
get to
bet.
re-roll that. Because that's why I spent. All right. And that, and then I'll re-roll 1. There we go. 4 successes. Oh no, 5
That's-
successes.
Oh yeah, your automatic one.
We're at
Uh-huh.
full
So-
of 1.
3 momentum. You have a scan of the Creto.
We're gonna want to spend. We're gonna.
Yeah, we have 1 overflow already.
So yeah, we're gonna want
And a
to
free question. So we have 2 questions.
basically.
The basic information scan. This is a Decora class Marauder. It has phaser banks with electromagnetic pulse launcher and photon torpedoes. All its weapons are inoperable. It is currently disabled. So minimal systems. They're not dead, but they're adrift.
Is the
Captain,
vessel-
Creto is currently adrift. It does not seem to have power to its weapons or many other critical systems.
Is the vessel in danger of any sort of structural collapse?
Not that I'm detecting. Would that be a question, GM?
It would be a question.
Yeah, like what's is the
All right. Is it in danger of collapse?
It is.
loader?
It is not. It isn't exposed to space, but there are parts of the majority of the ship is still has environmental containment, but there are parts of the ship that are exposed to space. The outermost bits, like work passageways, maintenance hatchways, that sort of thing.
Okay, and then we should spend the next momentum. Life signs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask for.
Life signs?
There are 3 life signs aboard.
All right. And their warp core was inoperable.
They're currently disabled, so they're just on emergency power right now.
All right. All right.
Captain, I'm only detecting 3 life signs on board the Creto.
Well, in that case, I say we get to know them. Lieutenant Duran,
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Myth, Lieutenant Efrix. Let's go down to the transporter room.
Yes, sir.
Wouldn't it be
Lead the way.
smarter to try and attempt to bring them here, sir?
Are their shields up?
No, they're disabled.
Oh
Remember?
yeah, that's right. They're totally disabled.
Yeah,
Oof,
We'll
what
bring
was I
them to the transporter room.
Huh?
We'll bring them to the transporter room instead of the bridge.
Yes, I would. I would. I
Or
would prefer
directly
that.
to the brig?
That's a good point.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I'll be down in transporter room in that case, and you'll meet them.
Well, actually, the reason I was thinking transporter room is because they might be injured.
Yeah.
No, I mean take security.
Yeah.
Myth is my security.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, you could just call it security team. This is out of character. Like, you're the captain, you could do that.
I say let's just go down to the transporter room.
Sir, shouldn't we check for life signs from the other vessel? See if anybody's alive out there?
with an explosion like that, I doubt it.
I did not detect life science doctor.
Hmm.
Only the 3 on board
Yeah.
the Kuto.
All right.
So
I'm guessing it's-
whom is going to the transporter room?
I am.
I am.
I am. I think everyone but Penn.
Yup.
Oh,
Penn, you have the bridge.
Let's see how long this lasts.
Actually, wait, no. I'm sorry. Actually, no. You don't. Even though she's not here, technically, I do have Commander Dae doing EXO stuff.
Commander Dae is currently in communication with Rear Admiral Lidbringer regarding something. She's not
Ooh, okay.
available.
Oof. Okay.
All right. I'm guessing it's recent engineering.
which means Pend has the bridge.
Penn does the con. God help us all.
So, whom is going to be trying to beam up the wayward life signs?
I am.
All
Or
right.
Engine R.
Since you're doing it from the transporter room, the difficulty doesn't go up, but you are beaming them from somewhere that isn't a transporter pad. So that's 1. And bad things are happening over there. So 1 more. The difficulty is currently 4. The check is control engineering, assisted by sensors engineering.
So difficulty 3.
All right. That's complication range 3 then.
What?
No.
No.
No? Okay.
Complication range and difficulty are 2 different things.
Well, it doesn't say here, so yeah.
Yeah, difficulty is calculated on the GM side.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
It's how many
a little
hits you
confusing
need.
at first.
Yes, thanks.
That's how many successes you need.
Yeah.
And you
Control
do. You have
engineering.
bold, I believe.
The what?
You have the bold feature.
Yeah,
don't
I
you?
have bold engineering, and I have transporters and replicators as a focus.
So I'd give the GM a threat
For an extra die.
for an
Cool.
extra die, so you'll be rolling 3,
Mhm.
and the
Task
ship
roll
rolls
3.
1.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, focus used. Cool.
Focused used, yes, yeah.
And I don't know how I could use my values here.
I don't think you need a value here.
Oh, fair. Then I'll just roll. Complication range 1, focus used, task roll 3.
Mhm.
Cool. What the fuck?
Oof.
So you're
Well,
You do get to
You're gonna
reroll
reroll-
one of those.
so set your task roll to 1 and then roll 1 more.
Alright. And I still have my focus used then.
Mhm.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, now we just need the ship to come through.
Uh-huh. Yes!
And it came through.
Cool.
Ah,
I pat the console and say thank you,
ah,
baby.
this ship is so stupidly powerful.
Yeah,
All right.
I love it.
I love it.
Fuck yes.
Ooh, farangs.
Yeah, this doesn't look good.
You beam over 3 Ferengi, who all seem to be unconscious. And there seems to be some sort of substance coming out of their earlobes.
A substance coming out of their ears. All right. I take out my
There-
tricorder and begin to scan.
Me too.
Containment field.
Well, I'm gonna let the doctor and science officer take a look first.
Alright, I suggest the containment field, because we don't know what this might be.
This point's too late for that.
You said out of their. Do you mean out of
Earlobes.
their earlobes?
Yes.
Or out of their holes.
No, the lobe.
Oh, the lobe. Okay.
That's weird. Okay.
Oh no! Is
So
it
who's
their
getting
soul?
closer to them?
Well, I'm the doctor.
I
so-
said containment field, goddammit.
Do you try to
but I
put it
don't
up
have s-
anyway, or do you let the 2 officers approach?
Well, they're higher ranking than me, and they have already gone too close.
Fair enough.
I think.
I gave them very specific orders to approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
those approaching, before you scan, I'm going to ask you for, and the android in the room is going to have an easier time of this, but
Mhm.
it's going to be a fitness medicine roll. Difficulty is 4 for the doctor and 2 for the android.
So glad I
I'm
don't.
gonna
All right.
guess I'm gonna guess I don't have a focus that I can use towards that.
What's the roll again?
Fitness
Fitness
medicine.
medicine. So I
Fitness
could
medicine.
Okay.
I could use cautious.
Yeah.
One of my worst rolls.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. Efrix, you take
Woof!
reroll
I'm
that
glad.
reroll that whammy. Not
That's
enough.
3.
Not
You
enough.
needed one more.
Yep.
I was gonna suggest take 3 momentum, but
Yeah.
Too late.
so
All right. All right. So
you
I'm.
take 1 myth.
Yeah, I'm taking 1. And
At least it's not a complication. I didn't probably die.
is this? This is a long shot completely. But
Mhm.
would xenotechnologies of focus work here?
With increased complication.
I wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
It's only difficulty 2 for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that as a focus.
Hey!
You succeeded.
Cool.
With a nat 1. Okay.
Oh, hey. As the two of you approach, Myth, you feel the few bio intake systems you take, like the air intakes and the cooling systems. You get a slight warning that your system's locked out something that might have caused harm to your system. So you can still function because you don't actually need to quote unquote breathe. But it would if you were saved from some sort of hazard that your internal system caught automatically. Unfortunately for the doctor, as she approaches, she takes one stress as you kind of feel a little nauseous when you
I have a
approach.
question.
Yes,
Doesn't transporters filter out bad shit?
it should.
Unless it's really bad shit that the transporters don't know about.
I'll have to
Like
I'll
things
have
that
to
come
run
out
a
of
diagnostic check.
earlobes.
Yes. I begin
That's
a low-level self-diagnostic as I scan.
I mean, I'm already here. I guess it's fine.
Who's going to be the are you both looking into a medical issue at the moment?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to have one of you be the primary roller and the other the assist.
I'm definitely the assist here.
Reason medicine.
Yep. The difficulty is going to be 3.
All right.
Okay.
Take a momentum, Doc.
Okay. Would infectious diseases or
For some reason, yes.
xenoimmunology or emergency medicine qualify? Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
And actually, given the question raised earlier, the Lieutenant Aran, you can roll assist as well because you might be able to see something in the logs of the transporter, see if anything was caught in the something unusual was caught in the buffer.
So
Focus
that's
used.
1 momentum, or wait, no. What was the difficulty?
It was 3.
Okay,
Okay,
so we get
so
1
what
momentum.
Isn't that 2? Because I'm still making a reason roll.
That is true.
Yeah.
Androids are annoying that way. For
know.
Lieutenant Aran, it's a reason medicine for you as well.
Oh fuck! All right, sure. But I have a focus in transporters and replicators.
I'll actually give you that focus because that's how you're figuring this out.
Good. And that would be I'm assisting, right?
Yes.
So you roll
Alright,
1.
so it's 1. All right, cool.
He's really annoyed about the android.
And because you used the computer system aboard the ship, I'm going to ask you to roll computers plus science
Me?
for the ship.
Yeah.
Or computers engineering, but it's the same difference either way, I think. Actually, it may be different for you. Take that back.
Computer science is better.
Okay.
Computers.
He watches the doc unrolls like the turtleneck under her uniform and pulls it up over her nose.
Someone else currently rolling, or am I rolling for the ship?
I can roll ship. What's the?
Computer science.
I mean, I had it up, but yeah.
Let's see. It's 5 momentum.
1, 2, 3, 4. Difficulty was 3.
But it was reduced because he gets
Or no,
reason.
No, because
no.
extra 1 from Android.
Oh
extra 1 from Android.
So that's 5.
So that's 5 momentum. So we were at 3. Now we're at full and 2 over.
I'm going to be sending something to the doctor. Feel free to roleplay the scan. I will say that it smells in the room right now, and the fluid seems to be this sort of greenish red fluid, kind of viscous.
Gross. This is actually
Yeah.
very, very gross.
You're
And
welcome.
Not because they're Ferengi.
I don't.
More
I
gross
don't
than
think any of us thought that. You might want to put up that force field, like just
Yeah,
around us.
I'm gonna
'cause
do
no
that.
one else is affected.
I'm gonna do that.
If that's okay with you, Captain.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's control engineering, right?
That will be
For first
reason
reason.
engineering,
Alright.
assisted by ship structure engineering.
Cool. And it's a task roll of 2, and I don't have a focus in this. Yeah. Fuck.
Well, you tried.
Balls. Sorry.
Could we spend the 2 momentum that we gained?
Probably not, because I think it has to be about the same roll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. And we lost
Oh.
2 momentum.
Sorry. Well,
Well, I don't know, because he hasn't actually given me the information yet, so...
What
That's
do I
up to
roll for the ship?
Nothing, because you didn't
Succeed.
even get 1 success. So
For an assist to fire in general, you need the primary actor needs to get at least 1 success.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Yeah, I've only had the books for a week, and I haven't read that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, the system is a bit different from a lot of others. So it takes a little bit of learning curve.
Cool. Yeah. Well, good news, bad news. Good news, I'm gonna run a diagnostic later. And bad news, no force field. Sorry.
Alright, well... Oh... Ew!
I guess I could try to
Doctor,
isolate what
that's
it is.
not a good ew.
Oh, that wasn't in character.
Huh.
They're dying.
Well,
We need
is
stuff
there
for
any-
radiation poisoning and stuff for the treatment of Ferengi influenza.
Influenza. All right.
All right. Is it contagious?
Yeah, I need. Yeah. So don't come any closer.
Do you want
Queen
me to
Soup
pin
is
them to
probably a
sick
good
bay?
idea for a medical team.
All
And I
right.
would recommend keeping your distance.
All right. Doctor, would you like me to beam them to sick bay? You have better quarantine fields there.
That might be. Captain?
Yeah, I'd beam them to sick bay, and Doctor, if you could find a moment to send us up some treatment for Ferengi influenza, the lieutenant and I'll stay here for now. We don't want this
It's
to
been
spread.
mutated by the radiation. I'm not sure if our normal regimen will help, but I'll try.
Gross. All right. Beaming. It's
Oh yeah, did I mention that I have it?
gross. Go to sick bay. I'm beaming you there as well, by the way.
The beaming.
Hang on, I need to ward them first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interrupt.
Please do.
Hold on.
Give me
Efforts to sick bay.
sick bay here.
We have 3 Ferengi coming in with radiation poisoning and mutated Ferengi influenza. I've also been infected, so force fields up.
We'll put you in quarantine section 2. That should fit everybody.
Thank you.
Give me
Efforts
a
out?
daring medicine, difficulty 2,
Oh
assisted
no.
by ship's computer's medicine. Basically,
that
making
him or
sure
is that me?
they do the proper setup to be ready for you.
Is that me? Or is
That's
that
you.
Take a momentum.
Are you sure I couldn't use presence medicine?
If you take your time, but something bad might happen if you take too long.
No, that's probably not a good idea. Okay.
Yes. take momentum.
Guys, remember how my daring is a 7?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Take a momentum. Take 2.
No, just take one.
Just take one.
It's only a difficulty 2.
Infectious diseases, xenobiology, immunology,
you.
emergency medicine. Okay, cool.
All of them?
All
Take
of my
your pick,
things.
really.
Genetics, probably not counseling, but you know.
I mean, you might need it in a second. It smells like apples for some reason, but rotting. Ew.
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 Interesting.
Reroll that comp. You succeed.
Hey.
Oh, nice.
And you're assisted by the ship's computer medicine.
Right.
So that brings us back up to full.
And computer's medicine.
It doesn't matter.
Could be complications. Always worth checking. Or I guess you can get more momentum.
I guess.
But yes, you're able to get your team prepared for what's coming.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Also, warning, it smells real bad, guys.
All right. Control engineering, focus used.
It is difficulty of 3. Control engineering, I believe you're correct. Yes, assisted by ship sensors engineering.
Okay. And
Difficulty 2.
That's
Alright.
true because of your sensors.
Any of my talents, like bold engineering.
Bold only works if you give the GM
Right,
a threat
right.
for an extra die.
Now that I know, I haven't had that much time to figure out how to filter out bad shit with the transporter yet. But could I use testing a theory to do that?
I'll give you the extra d20 because, yeah, you have succeeded in beaming whatever this is, so maybe you'll have a better chance of bringing it out. Be able to stably beam it over.
What's the check?
It's control engineering. Yep.
Control
Difficulty
engineering.
what?
2.
Yeah.
2.
With the Kismet's reduction already.
And I still have. That's complication range 1 for me, and
I'd spend a momentum, not a threat. Just I know you don't get a reroll with a momentum, but just spend a momentum.
Okay, which gives me.
Well, keep in mind, actually, he's getting a freebie because of testing a theory, so he'd have to spend for a 4th die.
Never mind. So
so you're rolling 3.
3.
So I won't.
And assisted by the ship, so I think you're fine.
Yeah, I won't have him spend the momentum. I was unaware.
Focus complication 1. Dice roll 3. Rolling.
Yep. Hit it.
Work. God damn it! I rolled twice. Sorry.
Nope. Only that first one counts.
Yeah, I know. I rolled twice. Sorry.
Well, let's see if the ship can pull through.
Yes,
it can.
God damn this thing.
Oh, it gives me Nat 1.
I pat the console.
That's
again.
the 3rd nat 1 I've rolled.
Rigged.
I call hacks.
Android hacks.
I call Android hacks.
It's to make up for, like, what was it, 3
Last
or 4
time.
sessions ago, where we just rolled natural ones or natural 20s. I think I rolled 2 of them in a row.
Yeah.
Evans rolled like 3 within the game. Like,
I rolled 1, I think.
Everyone rolled some complication.
I had so much threat. Yes, you're able to beam the Ferengi and the doctor into the quarantine bay. Medical teams on stat. There's at least one person, at least 2 or 3 of the team that are in like full biohazard suits.
they're probably smart. I start giving orders immediately on like how to treat them until someone tells me to shut up and sit down.
Back in the transporter room,
Hey, what's up,
I-
Ed?
say, Captain, recommend we lock down this room until we determine whether any of us have infection as well.
Agreed. I leave the determination of that to you.
Yeah, we're currently playing with
Understood, sir.
radioactive
Medicine's not my specialty,
Ferengi
but I'll do what I can.
influenza outbreak on the ship, so
I'll run some scans.
Penn's the only one not exposed, so I'm the captain now.
Need be, Lieutenant.
Scans within the transporter room. Yeah. So, are any of the three of us infected / this room?
It doesn't appear to be so.
Good.
Right.
Is there a roll to be made?
No roll. The sensors don't seem to detect. A quick scan shows that your vitals don't seem at all compromised.
All right, and I'm not holding anything like on my person, or would that be a roll?
During the beaming, whatever residual is left is too weak to actually do anything.
Yeah.
So you have stuff on you, but it's so minuscule that it's dying just from being exposed to open air for too long.
Yeah. Sounds like Yeah, sounds like in order to catch it, you have to go up to them and touch them,
or be within close proximity of the source.
Yeah. So
Close enough to
like
get rads.
3 of us are good.
Cool,
Right.
cool.
No danger detected.
What does the transport buffer say?
The transporter says that it's whatever it is that they have in them. Like radiation, it's hard to get. There's something in them that's intricated. Wow, English language. I speak
Integrated.
Integrated. Thank you. Integrated with their biology. So if the transporter separated that out, it would likely kill them.
Okay.
And that's why the transporter just defaulted and just beamed them over.
That's fair.
The captain puts a hand to his mouth and he says, I think I see what's going on here.
Captain,
Please.
you have a theory?
Yes, I do, Lieutenant. I say we go up to the bridge.
Lead the way, sir.
And as we're on our way, I'm going to call Dr. Efrix.
Efrix, give me a fitness medicine roll, difficulty 3. On the plus side, the difficulty goes down by 1 because you're in med bay, so you can quickly get like a very quick assistance with trying to recover.
Cool.
They take 3 momentum, unless the ship is helping.
No, it's just she's just getting the benefit of the room.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
and then do any of my focuses apply, or no?
You need something. You would need something. You could use infectious diseases that increase complication. You're basically because my narrative interpretation is that you're grabbing a hypo spray and trying to help yourself so you don't get worse.
Yeah. But really, it's up to my own physical ability to shrug off disease quickly.
But I will give you infectious disease at increased complication if you want, because that's you blind guessing and hoping to get it right.
Nah. Not if I'm already taking 3 momentum. We'll just go for it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Hang on. Fitness is better than daring. Okay, there we go. Should probably change that.
Nah, I wouldn't worry about it. When does daring ever come up for a doctor?
Right?
Roll them bones.
Well, you can reroll 1.
That was close. Good thing you're in med bay.
Whew.
Momentum. Yeah, you're hailed and you kind of feel queasy. You get some water. You kind of have a second to lean against the wall. You're not feeling great, but you're not feeling any stress yet.
Yeah. Well, except the 1 stress that I already have.
Yeah.
Dr. Afrix here. Yes, Captain?
I think I might have an idea what's causing this. You said that it's radiation that's mutating this Ferengi influenza.
It appears that way, sir. Yes.
I think I might know what's causing the radiation.
Oh,
I think we're dealing with Kaukit crystals.
Why didn't I think of that?
Alkyd crystals being used perhaps as a fuel source.
it's
Or
possible.
perhaps... Lieutenant, you said that you detected, did you say the radiation source was inside them? I think this is how they're smuggling them.
Ooh. Well, I wouldn't like to be that medical team.
Well, Doctor, if you can get yourself and those Ferengi stabilized, I'd like you to look into that.
Of course, Captain.
In the meantime, I need to have words with, oh, damn it. I can never remember it.
With the station?
Terminus Parazzle. And whatever the daimon is that's there. I forget that name too.
Wasn't it
The station's named after him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's very humble.
Yeah,
Like most Ferengi.
Yup.
The most humble.
And selfless, don't forget that.
Selfless. That's an insult. Hey, take that back.
Well, I don't care for Ferengis.
Hey.
Ferengi, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to put an S on it. Right.
So, yeah, I'd like the doc to hopefully take care of herself first, because she's not going to be any use to these Ferengi dead.
I mean... So, Doctor, what do you want to do? You're in medbay. You're feeling wonderful. And smelling apples, now oranges.
Oh. That's so weird. Let's see if I could get a better look at a molecule of the influenza. It's usually viral, isn't it?
Yep.
And see if I can figure out where it's mutated based on past experiences with it in the database.
I'm going to get yourself a sample. I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask you for a control medicine difficulty 1 because you're in medbay. It'd normally be harder, but you're trying to get a nice clean sample that you can study.
Genetics or infectious diseases.
Infectious diseases, I'll take.
Or xenoimmunology. Everybody cool with me taking one so I can reroll in case something disastrous happens?
What's the difficult?
2? Right? Or 1?
Okay, yeah, take 1. And is the ship helping?
I don't think so. It's just
I think I bumped us down to 3, not 2. I think. Aren't we at 4?
I think we're at...
I think we were at 4.
Oh.
No, you gave Efrix 3 to make the fitness medicine.
Oh, that's right. But I made 1 back.
Ow.
Okay. I don't know. It's up to you guys. I might earn us some. Was my other thought.
I'll say this right now. Boy, am I glad we did not go over to that Ferengi ship.
Yeah, thanks.
I was like, there's got to be a reason why there's only 3 left alive, and it's not good.
Oh, the rest of them were on the were boarding the.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But
they now have the disease of exposure to space.
Hey!
Hey!
That is 4 momentum.
Yeah.
You're able to get yourself a sample.
We're at full.
Cool.
That's what I was hoping would happen. Is I would just earn us back about.
Yeah. Is there any timed element to this?
not yet.
Okay, I only ask because I know this is a disease, and as I'm running a medical episode right now, those often have timed elements to them.
I mean, there might be one. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to see what I need to change. Like, I'm working towards curing it. I'm not just. This isn't just an interest. I'm like trying to figure out what I need to change for the.
Oh, that reminds me. Fitness medicine difficulty 3.
Cool.
Oh.
Want to take that 3 momentum?
Sure.
But there's no time limit. Don't worry about it. Take your time.
Uh-huh.
Worst.
Oof.
Reroll that. Get a momentum back.
Aw, you got it. There you go. Did you spend away? Oh, you rerolled it. Stay out here. It now smells of pears.
You're
Have
roboting.
sample.
You're breaking up. You're being me.
It smells of pears, and but you have the sample.
Okay. So I want to see where it's located so that I can compare it to.
Still breaking up.
Lots of androids, mate.
I think
I'm hearing only the captain clearly right now.
How am I sounding?
You're a little bit robotic.
Oh yeah, I'm all red. I'm gonna jump out and come back.
Okay.
Ah, there we go.
I'm still on the
Oh,
red.
there we go.
but-
I just came on.
I'm
Okay,
back.
there we go.
yes.
All
Because
green.
Now I can hear everyone again.
Yep, because I just forced the server to. I just changed servers.
Yeah, that's what I was typing. I was like, is there anyone that can change the server?
Yep.
Mhm. Something going wrong.
But yes, you have. It smells of pears, and it's. You can. You have a sample.
Nice.
Okay. So comparatively to our database, what about the virus has mutated, and will the vaccine still work against it?
Give me reason medicine.
Okay.
Assisted by ship's computers medicine. And you are rolling at a difficulty of 3. Sorry, 2, because you're in medbay.
Take a
Xenoimmunology or infectious diseases?
Infectious disease.
take a momentum.
Yep.
Momentum.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Ah, that's pretty good.
I'm sure at some point my luck will run out though, so I'm not gonna say too much about it.
Don't say
And-
that.
Knock on wood.
And the ship helps out with computer medicine.
Computer.
It tried.
Okay.
So you scored yourself your momentum.
How much?
Um, So what you find out
Mhm.
is that the current concoction on file won't work because the virus is mutated too drastically. You need to, but you can use it as a base though if you spend 2 momentum. Basically, creating the advantage of you understand the basics, the fundamentals of how it's working to be able to quickly change it into something else.
Done.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. So cool.
Yeah, take your momentum.
Okay, so then we have to synthesize a new one based on things that have changed.
That's true. You also need to give me a fitness medicine roll difficulty 3.
Yeah, I kind of figured I did.
Mhm.
You want to take
could
3
assist with-
momentum?
I could assist with the
Ooh. You know what might be a
The
good...
transporter
Nope.
logs.
Ooh, I have an idea. This might be a great time to activate Sarir.
Oh, the nurse, yeah.
Have her come in a what's it suit?
Biosuit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have her come in a
Biohazard.
biosuit.
Mhm.
Yeah, and she has a focus in virology.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, let's do it. Taking a crew point and bringing Sarir in.
Okay.
Who's playing Sarir?
It
Well, for
used to be
pants, we can leave it-
Zoha, but I still need to roll, guys.
And I'm improving the control to 11.
So it's fitness
Oh.
medicine. I'm gonna take 3, just so I don't die.
Are you gonna
Yes.
take 3 momentum?
Yeah.
And as a heads up, Aran, when you send that data down, the next time the doctor rolls regarding the disease, they'll act as an advantage that can either bring down the complication by 1 or bring down the difficulty by 1.
Cool.
Unfortunately, it doesn't help with this.
Well, hang on. Sarir should still roll though.
Why? She's not resisting.
Oh, I figured. the
Yeah,
idea
this
was-
isn't. Yeah, this
Oh.
is just my body. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you not only did you fail, you got a complication.
Oh wait, I keep forgetting. You're in medbay, so the difficulty's down to 2.
Yes,
Still
I
have a
did get a
complication,
complication, but I succeeded. So-
Nice.
You succeeded, and just as you, you just rerolled the same one, so I don't have 2 complications. I just have the 1.
no, just
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, she rolled 2 20s in a row.
So when you go in, someone goes in, comes through the force field, biosuit on, and as you're feeling a little ill, you kind of cough for a bit. The nurse kind of gets startled by one of the Ferengi who coughs at the same time and steps back and tears their suit.
Oh.
She needs to make a fitness medicine roll. Difficulty 2.
This Sarir.
Yeah. See, she
yes.
gets the roll. Aren't you happy?
So, 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
I'll roll it. Yes!
Hey.
Nice. That's one
she's-
momentum.
She's fine, but it's she's smelling things now because her suit's compromised, and she is now infected.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's okay. We're working.
What do you
on
wish to do next, Doctor?
it. We're gonna try and synthesize that.
We're gonna give you a control or daring, your choice. Control or daring medicine. Difficulty would be 3, but you're in medbay, so it's down to 2.
And the pattern buffer logs.
Yeah.
And that brings it down to 1.
Yep, and Sarir is assisting.
Mm-hmm.
I would honestly just take.
Oh, and I almost forgot, Doctor. You did the thing to find out more about the vaccine from earlier, so it brings it down yet again. So you're actually down to 0.
Okay.
Awesome.
Do you want to just spend a momentum so you can re-roll a complication?
Yeah, because I just rolled 2 20s in a row.
And
If that's
Sarir,
okay with people.
Yep.
And Sarir can assist you.
Sarir will assist with control medicine. And I assume virology counts as a focus?
Yeah, it does.
And xenoimmunology or infectious disease again.
Applies, yeah.
Okay. It's 1 momentum. Reroll
Oh,
that 0.
see it. Yep.
See?
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Damn!
Nice.
We are at full.
Hell yeah.
It's
We're
just
at full plus 1.
feast or famine for us right now.
So 2 things you discover. 1, you're able to make enough to treat everybody, including the 2 new infected. You now have an established new concoction. So if anyone went over to the ship, you have something now that can deal with that. As for the radiation, that's something. The radiation on its own, there's drugs that already exist for that you can give them.
Yeah. And I did say that they were gonna need that. prepped when I made my initial call them.
Yeah, and those have been because you prepared in advance. That's already been administered, so at least the radiation isn't getting worse. The radiation isn't doing more damage than it already was.
Okay, so now you're gonna administer that to everyone.
Yeah.
And scoop some crystals out.
Now, who first?
Probably you, Doctor, because you go down.
Yeah, this is the ethics question when you go through medical school. Yeah, I guess I have to treat myself first.
Not to mention you haven't tested the medicine on
Mm-hmm.
so this is might as well.
That will be control medicine.
Okay.
Actually, let me think. For you, I'll hand wave it. No roll. You're fine.
Okay.
But because you're in med bay, you can quickly step out, suit up, and step back in. Normally, I would charge you an opportunity for that, but because you're in med bay, the opportunity is one, so you get it for free anyway.
Yeah. Not to mention, we also have all of the momentum.
Yeah. So you're able to administer it to yourself and suit up.
Okay.
However, the vitals on all three of the Ferengi are dropping drastically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my fear.
And also, your nurse has to do a fitness medicine test because they're still sick.
Yep, I'll give her a momentum.
In FX, you don't have to roll again because you've treated yourself, so it very quickly dies the minute you inject yourself.
Yeah. So, well, she's dealing with her nausea. I'm gonna administer to
2 still.
Difficulty 2. You're right.
To the Ferengi that's in the most danger.
Shabam.
One momentum. Of the 3 Ferengi, well, here's the question: who do you treat first of the 3?
That's what I was saying. Whoever is in their vitals are the lowest. I don't know.
They're all seem to be dying at the exact same time.
Yeah, you should.
Okay. Is there one with a higher rank?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Give me a moment. Yes.
Okay, that one first.
Okay.
He's gonna know the most information, unfortunately.
You are able to inject him. If you want the other 2 saved, someone else has to treat them because they're going to die before you can get to them.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure we have. I didn't just print out one version, so yeah, we have other nurses in the room.
We have Sarir.
So you can call on Sarir, and she can quickly administer it to herself or to one of them.
To one of them.
Okay. Inject. She'll have a roll later. If you want someone else in the room to help, you're going to need to roll presence medicine to call in someone with a suit. Go, hurry, hurry, hurry.
Okay.
Get in here. This guy's that guy over there is dying.
Okay. Everybody cool with me taking a cautious?
Go for it. What's the difficulty?
It's down to 1 because you're in med bay.
Emergency medicine?
Yes.
Reroll that comp.
Stop rolling 20s.
Well.
Okay, that was a 19. Much better.
Christ.
But the complication was 2 now.
It was 2. And you just...
For some reason.
So we get that momentum back, I think? Or was it difficulty 2?
It was brought down to 1, so you got 1 back.
Yes.
So the 3 Ferengi are saved, but our good nurse is still pretty sick, so she needs a fitness medicine roll.
I'm gonna give her a momentum.
Difficulty 2 because you're in med bay.
Yep.
We're very glad this happened in medbay and we didn't beam over there.
Yeah.
Yep. And she injects herself.
Cool.
And steps out of the room now that and gets showered and gets sonic showered down and cleaned up quickly before it gets worse.
Or I'm sorry, that was fitness medicine.
Yep. Did she not make it?
She didn't make it.
Uh-oh.
Wait, no. She did. Difficulty 2. Yes.
Yes.
That is
Ooh.
by the skin of her teeth.
Mm,
That second one is a 13, and her fitness medicine is 13.
nice.
So, yeah.
I don't get any momentum back. Is the
That's okay.
We're still at 5.
And then we'll get them
and the previous roll I also
deconned as quick as we can and get the room.
and the
cleaned as
previous
quick
roll
as-
I had her made, I also made the same mistake, but all of those numbers are under 13, so all's kosher.
You were saying, Dr. Efrix?
And then we'll get them deconned as quick as we can, as well as the room
Okay.
before they're reinfected.
That was stressful.
Anything else you do as you are able to, as you stabilize them and yourselves?
I want to look into, because the captain sparked my interest, I want to look into any kind of radiation deposit that appears inside of the body. Like if there's, because I ran into that officer on station that had calcite crystals grafted into their bone. I want to look for that.
Give me reason, medicine, difficulty. Normally would be 5. It's brought down to 4 because you're in mid bay.
Okay.
Same scene, so you can still be assisted by Sarir.
Yeah, that is true.
I'll take a cautious
Uh,
xenobiology
Yes.
and or genetics.
And actually, I'll go one step further. The transporter logs you got, that brings it down by 1.
Okay.
Does the ship assist?
It would. It would be sensor medicine.
Oh, so it brings it down even more.
True.
Did we just make a
Got it.
difficulty 5 check into a difficulty 2 check?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, but let's not toot our own horns, guys. I just rolled how many complications?
Come on, double
I
20.
know.
3 20s. Let's go. I believe in you.
God damn
Aw,
it,
almost.
Evan.
All right, and then a roll an assist from Sarir.
Yeah, you should have a focus of xenobiology, I think.
Mm-hmm. Here, I can roll, but I got the sheet. Nothing.
And ship?
And ship. Also got that. Computer's medicine, you said?
Sensor medicine.
Sensor's medicine, right.
Efrix, have you just been consistently rolling 20s on every single roll?
Yes, I've
Uh-huh.
never rolled this many 20s in my life playing
There you go.
D&D. What the fuck?
I know,
Yeah,
right?
I was about to say,
So
this
that-
should be your D&D night, but
Each of these rolls you've made has had at least one.
And
20.
this, and we'll end the scene there with Efrix studying carefully the scans and the transporter logs, and finding out something altogether more disturbing than she thought.
Oh no!
But yes, onto the bridge.
All right, and we drop 1 momentum. Did you already do that?
Done. We're at 3.
cool.
We don't need to worry about these 3 anymore.
So, yeah.
Myth, I want you scanning for radiation emissions.
Yes, sir.
If
Commencing scan.
there are other calcite crystals here, I want to be in the know. Lieutenant Aran,
Yes, sir.
hail Terminus Parazzo.
Will do, sir.
Myth, you can spend 1 momentum because you did a scan earlier, and you can get information about presence of radiation in the area.
What would the difficulty of the check be otherwise?
He's already done the roll, so it's just a momentum cost.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do that then.
Here.
Ooh.
Here.
Oh.
Here.
Oh!
Oh,
Oh, and here,
Oh.
of course.
Captain, I'm detecting radiation from
I mean, is
all
it
of the
abno-
ships in this area,
I-
as well
I-
as...
I think it does need to be clarified, though. Is this
Yes,
abnormal radiation?
Is this abnormal radiation that
Oh
corresponds?
yeah, you're calculating past background radiation and normal energy signatures.
Detecting abnormal energy signatures from all ships in the area and the station, Captain,
I was afraid of that.
including ourselves.
Well, that seems to confirm my theory. If it is what I think and those Ferengis are carrying Calcic crystals, then we'd be receiving the signal from down in sickbay.
Let me see if I can confirm that, Captain.
Captain, is it possible that we could beam over to the Ferengi ship after the inoculation to find out where they've been?
That is entirely possible.
I'd like to be on that awaiting.
Who just rolled against us?
That's them receiving the hail.
Yeah, I haven't rolled yet.
That one that they got doesn't work because
Oh, you're right.
they didn't. Because they didn't get a single success. Their station does not get the help.
All right. Should I roll?
Yeah, when the Ferengi is just bashing his head against the console, it doesn't really work that well.
BS, you roll You do have to roll to make contact with them because the difficulty is 1.
Yeah, I'd like some hand holding here because I don't know.
Control engineering, assisted by the ship's communications engineering.
This task, let's roll 2. No focus. And yeah, rolling. Fuck.
Do you want to spend 2 momentum to kill that complication?
Captain?
Would you be willing to take that as threat?
Ha, you're funny.
Nice.
I'll crack the 2 momentum.
You're not able to get a signal. There's too much interference in the area.
What on earth is going on?
Too much interference, Captain. I can't get through.
Well, that's not good.
I'd like to confirm that the radiation signatures are coming from sickbay on board the Kiss.
Sickbay and the transporter room.
Oh, well, yeah.
Still the transport room? Ooh.
Yeah, wait, still in the transporter room.
Yeah, it should be residual radiation in that case, but we should probably.
And radiation in the entire in this entire region has spiked. You're in a class 3 radiation field.
Shit.
Our shields up.
Shields up.
The shields of the Sakona and the Prim, that's the Vulcan and Cardassian ships, have gone up. The station shields have just gone up. They must have detected the same thing you did. Because class 3 radiation, everybody notices that. It's very obvious.
All right. Who rolls for the ship?
No roll to increase shields.
No
It's a minor action.
Cool,
Yep.
cool.
Normally, anyway.
Lieutenant Iran, hail the Vulcan science vessel.
Yes, sir.
Stand by. And what's the other system ship? There's a. I'm just writing out what the downside of the field is. That would go down. That would go down. That would go down. Anything else? Yeah. So just so you know, the class 2 radiation is increasing the difficulty of any communication, sensors, or engineering task by 3.
Ooh.
For all ships in the area.
That's gross.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, it's hailing the Sakona is going to be control engineering. Difficulty is 3, as you're assisted by the ship's communications engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Give the GM a threat. Roll a 3rd die.
Actually, they might make it.
Roll a 3rd die.
Oh. Do we...
That's me on my end.
Oh, so both sides have to succeed.
Yep, because the other side has to receive the signal.
Ooh, that's gross.
Okay. So a test roll of 3.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you're giving me a threat?
Yes, we are giving you a threat. You should feel honored.
Rolling, Captain.
Come at me. You won't.
Okay, reroll 1.
Roll for the ship. You might get lucky. I don't think it's gonna help though.
What is happening?
We started off strong.
We don't need
Yeah, I
momentum.
think
You
we
better be
blew
careful
all
with
our
those
fun, like, the
rolls.
first
they said.
third.
Penn has not rolled a critical fail yet.
Pen hasn't rolled yet.
That as well.
Yes. The ship rolls communications engineering to assist because you did get at least one.
Communication engineering.
Yeah.
There are no. Let's see here. So I have to learn this. Targeting system, sensor suites.
It's just communication engineering.
Yeah. That's a 1 die roll or 2. Okay, 1. It says focus used already.
Yeah, the ship always has a focus.
Okay, cool.
Yes!
Yes!
Thank you, baby. Thank you.
Pulling it through.
Well, there's still a complication.
Yeah.
Still got complication. Hey, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You lose 3 power setting out a hail.
Oh, so
You know
we're at
what?
12.
I am
All right.
okay with that.
You send out the signal, and the Sakona is receiving.
Cool.
On
Channel
screen.
open, Captain.
This is the Sakona. You seem to be breaking up. Is everything all right over there?
Well, in case you haven't noticed, we're sitting right in the middle of a Scale 3 radiation field. It's playing havoc with all our communication and sensors. You're pretty fuzzy too there, Sakona.
Yes. I believe we will be vacating the area for now. This seems quite illogical to stay in this close to whatever the field might be. Although we do suspect it may be coming from the station.
While we do agree, we also have been receiving odd radiation signatures from both you, the station, and the Cardassian vessel.
Well, it makes perfect sense. We were in the field when it spiked.
No, this predates the field.
I do not believe you are correct, Captain. You may wish to calibrate your sensors.
Insight command.
Gee, why would you want to roll that? It's opposed.
Hey, why don't you give him some threat to roll extra dice?
Insight command, you say?
Yeah?
I'll give you a threat.
I'll spend a threat.
Hey!
Hey.
I beat him.
Darn. Okay, reset these back because I adjusted them. Yeah. She's trying. It's obvious she's evading.
I don't appreciate the dodging of my questions. You and I both know that there's more going on here. It's illogical to try to drag this out any more than it needs to be.
Is there a question, Captain, or are you going to accuse me of something?
I'm just curious if you know the source of this radiation.
As I said, we suspect it's coming from the station.
Oh, no, know, but this radiation signature was localized specifically to the other vessels in the area. We're willing to show you our sensor logs, if you doubt it.
Oh, feel free to send those over.
Sending them now.
Send them the data logs, Myth.
Yes, sir.
It will take us some time to look over your findings, but
I ask that you remain in contact.
we will stay at the perimeter of the field. I do not feel it is wise to. It is logical to stay within the danger area, but we'll stay within communication range.
Understood. And the captain just gives a just sort of a grimace. And he looks back to Aran.
Transmission ends.
Yep, cut comms. And he just sits down in the chair and just hits his hand on the armrest and goes, "God damn Vulcans!"
They do a quick warp jump, but they stop very quickly at the edge of the field, just outside of it.
Captain, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, I'd like to.
Ooh, wait, they may not. Shoot, hold on. They may have just done something very dumb. Sorry.
Oh, they have
Oh
to roll
no.
God damn it.
Oh.
Are they gonna
Oh
explode
no.
now? Yeah.
Hey, they made it.
Okay.
something. I was to say, were they about to?
Oh.
Dumb?
We're about to explode.
I was like, oh wait, I have to do a roll to do that. No.
You wanted a class 3 radiation field.
You notice when they form their warp bubble, passive sensors detect that it fluctuates very wildly, and it almost collapses around them. But the ship seems to be designed well enough that it was able to overcome that and jump through the whole way out.
Are they still within our sensor range?
Oh yeah, you can see them. They're at extreme range.
Okay. If I'm not out of line, Myth, would you please, Lieutenant, would you please check if they still emit radiation? Or if it's just residual?
Unsure if we have the sensor resolution for that. However, I can certainly try.
I'll help you with it.
And I'll write that down here so I don't forget it. There we go. I'm going to ask you for a roll of reason plus science. Difficulty is 4.
Assisted by the ship's sensors.
Sensor science.
Ah.
Difficulty 3.
Me.
The lead will be Myth, and the assist can be from the good Lieutenant Aran.
And
All right.
you have no momentum to help you.
Uh-huh. Alright, that's 3 successes.
Alright, so it's reason science for me as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're an android.
Uh-huh. That's 3
you're right.
successes.
Reason science?
It's reason science for me as well, right?
Yes.
In the words of Lieutenant Data, I am an android. Every time.
Would warp field dynamics help with this?
I'd give it to you at increased complication.
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that.
Most people aren't.
What's your science score?
I have a 3 in science.
That's not bad.
I wouldn't risk.
Alright. So 1 and 1. Or was the complication range higher for me?
Just 1 for now.
1 for now. Okay. I'm rolling.
Alright. Still success.
Alright.
We just don't generate any momentum off of it.
Yes, they still have a radiation. And actually, when you do the detection, it looks like wherever the source is on their ship, it's in a shielded area. But your sensors are advanced enough that it's able to still pick up the odd signature.
Okay, so that's us. I suspected that they have the crystals on board in that case.
A good hunch, Lieutenant.
Thank you,
And
Lieutenant.
Captain, they are still emitting a radiation signature. It appears to be from a shield section of their ship.
Who are?
The Vulcan ship.
Yeah. I have a bad feeling about this.
The Cardassian ship moves to the station and docks.
All right.
And
Actually,
the captain's going to press his comm badge. Dr.
Actually,
F-
wait, it might not. Hold on. I have to test. I have to see if they even move.
Oh, have to roll for them, don't they?
They don't move,
Cool.
and their engines short out.
Good for them.
Oh, do I
Right.
need to beam over there and help them?
Hold on.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom real quick.
Well, I was gonna have you try to hail them. I'll have Myth do it then.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, sometimes you have to hit the refresher.
Mhm.
But Myth, you're
Did
going
you
to try to
generate
hail
any
someone?
momentum on that last task?
I did not generate any momentum. No.
Damn. Okay.
I just scraped the success by. All right, so comms task is control engineering, correct?
Who are you trying to hail?
Cardassians.
I'm going to spend 2 threat.
All right.
Difficulty is 4.
Okay.
Hailing is control engineering assisted by communications engineering.
All right. I'm going to say focus for unified field theory because we're dealing with radiation.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
All right.
I'll roll for the ship. Say
Yeah.
communications engineering.
That's right.
Okay, everybody, cross your fingers. Nope.
Sorry, ship didn't.
Way too much interference.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
No luck, Captain.
Dr. Efrix, please say you have some news for me.
You hear nothing from the med bay.
Dr. Efrix?
Running an analysis on internal ships communications.
Huh?
Running an analysis on internal ships communications.
Reason plus engineering, difficulty 2. Assisted by ship's computers engineering.
Okay. That's 1 momentum.
Nice.
3 momentum.
No, 4 momentum, because reason. Right? Or.
There's
No,
difficulty
that's
too.
how-
I already counted it in the
Yeah.
Ship's internal communications has degraded due to the radiation spike earlier. It was slowly breaking until it finally just went. Your externals are working. It's just your internals died.
Okay, I'll.
Internal communications down, Captain. The radiation is interfering with our ship systems.
I'm not sure if I could fix it here. I'll have to go down to engineering to fix that.
You get on that.
Yeah. Permission to be excused, Captain.
Of course.
Thank you. And I moved down to engineering.
I'll get you
Captain.
the difficulty for that.
Difficulty for moving down to engineering?
For
Not a
fixing
minor
it.
task.
Okay.
I was like, the turbo lifts are not working?
I mean, I have threat. I could, but nah.
Give him an idea.
Everyone has to go through Jeffrey's tubes now. Have
Yep.
fun.
Well, I'm comfortable with that actually. I have low fitness on the other hand.
Jeffries!
Oops!
Oh, that's not it. It is when you get down to engineering, you find out that it's going to be a control engineering difficulty 2 because you're doing it out of the engineering bay.
Fuck yes, that's my best roll.
Okay.
Control engineering.
Y'all.
Give the GM a threat.
All right. And I'm gonna use bold.
Yep.
In that case.
I'm gonna spend 2, so I'm down to 4.
Right, we're keeping
Three.
Pend in reserve.
Sorry, Pen.
I'm used to that.
The beast is currently caged, but when we let him out of the cage, oh boy.
Well,
I can just feel the energy across the continents.
I have a feeling that he'll run the station into warp or something. No focus is used, I suppose. Or is it a focus to use my talent?
What?
What?
I'm not sure.
The problem is I can't see your sheet, so I couldn't tell.
So I have bold engineering. We've given the GM
a threat, yeah.
Yeah, focuses are something different. They don't involve your talents. So if you have things that...
So it's a complication
engineering
range
things.
And a task roll of 3 then.
Yes.
Well, what are your focuses? Because you might have one. You're an engineer. You're doing
craft,
engineering.
Infiltration, transporters, and replicators, and warp field dynamics.
No.
Yeah, none of them really apply.
No. System.
So comp range of 1 and a task roll of 3. Rolling.
Reroll that complication.
All right.
What is with us?
Seriously.
Fuck.
Oh my god!
That's the second reroll 20.
Do you want to spend those momentum to make that not a complication anymore?
That's not up to me, I think.
Fine.
It is, actually. Any player can spend momentum.
Well, I'd rather not blow up the ship on my first day out.
I love having momentum now.
I mean,
but after a bit of tinkering, you get to the proper part of the system, and you're able to reroute to the secondary communication system while you have a team of engineers replace the existing system.
All right.
Can I just make like a joke roll to see if I roll a complication for shits and giggles?
Oh yeah.
No, it must be official.
You'll have to spend a threat to do it.
It must spend threat to do it. But yes, you have internal communications back.
Boy. I assume you like call up the bridge to say it.
Actually call up because I can.
Test 1 2 3.
Yeah.
We're reading you up here.
Testing
Sounds
communications,
like
Captain.
Colonel's back up and running, Lieutenant.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Just keep the Kismet purring. I'll be in touch soon.
I'll keep her growling, Captain.
Captain taps his comm badge again. Captain to Dr. Efrix?
You hear them now.
Good news, Captain. Everybody's no longer infected.
Any loss of life?
Not yet, sir. Other than the explosion.
All right. Now, on that note, what have you found? I did ask you to look into a certain matter for me.
Give me 1 second. I gotta get so I can read. Oh.
How bad is this?
Well, sir. All of the Ferengi have latinum grafted into their bones.
Well, that's fitting.
That's the source of the radiation.
Latinum?
Well, it begs the question, the blue crystals, the blue calcite crystals, have latinum.
So, does that mean that the crystals are indeed inside of them?
In a manner of speaking, it appears they've refined the calcite crystal growth so that it's acting like a varnish.
A varnish?
It's holding the latinum to the bone.
My god.
At this point, I'm not sure what we can do, if anything, for them.
If it remains the way it is, would this be terminal?
The amount they have? Possibly? We're sitting on a small fortune in Latinum grafted to Ferengi, sir.
Oh. They've turned their bones into money mills.
Indeed. They're gonna need constant radiation treatment, at the very least, if they want to survive.
Can you bring any of our visitors too? I want answers.
We can try. It seems as if they were getting treatment, but whatever caused the explosion made that inactive. And that's why they were experiencing the issues they were experiencing.
I see. Well, I'll be right down.
At this point, I'm not sure if it's a good idea to wake them. They're still in recovery.
Understood. Well, I'll see what I can do from up here to get in touch with any of the others.
Mm.
Currently, communications are down. In case you haven't noticed, internal ship communications took a hit for a while. We're currently sitting in the middle of a Class 3 radiation field. It's been playing havoc with ship systems.
Right. We'll keep an eye on radiation levels and the rest of the crew then.
Yeah, good news is ship shields have managed to keep it at bay and are holding. It's just moving the ship and sensor and communications within the region are degraded. The Vulcan ship has retreated to a safe distance, but the Cardassian ship and the Ferengi trading station are still in position. I'm gonna try and get more answers. Keep me apprised if anything changes. Captain Grennan out.
Yes, sir.
Captain, recommend that when possible we take an away team over to the Ferengi vessel and investigate their data logs.
Agreed. Make sure that you put on environmental suits.
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, however, I want you to see if there's anything you can do to cut through this radiation for our communications, because as it stands, trying to brute force our way through it is not helping.
Understood. I'll see what I can do about modulating our waveforms and re-amplifying our deflector dish.
So, can we do that?
It would be
And
a.
basically, we're just creating an advantage.
Oh, you are. You are. Difficulty is 5.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Well, you're 2 plus 3 because you're doing something with communications.
Oh.
So you can.
Well,
it's just
is
really
the ship,
hard.
then is the ship assisting?
Oh yeah, it's control
Okay.
engineering assisted by communications engineering.
Oh, okay. Give the lovely GM a threat, Myth.
Are you giving me that threat, Myth?
Myth? Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You there, buddy?
Uh-oh.
That's good.
We need anything?
Back.
Oh, there
There
you
you
are.
go.
Cool.
So we're gonna have you give the GM a threat, Myth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna spend 2.
Of course you are.
And what's the roll here?
It is control engineering, difficulty 5, assisted by the ship's communications engineering.
All right.
I'll roll for the ship. Communications. Hearing. Okay, it's 1.
I'm rolling 3.
That's a theoretical. Oh, it's a 1.
No.
Not enough.
So close.
You modulate, you try different frequencies, you reverse polarity. Short of having a whole new dish system, there's not a whole lot you can do. The radiation's just too erratic.
Captain, I'm unable to I'm unable to compensate for this level of radiation.
Good.
Oh, and the it's just increased to a rating 4. Something's making it worse.
Lieutenant Myth, can you triangulate the source of this radiation?
I can attempt to do so.
Gonna try to scan around, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the problem with that. It's gonna be recent science. Assisted by ships, sensor science. Difficulty would be, we're rating 4, so it is currently 4. Actually, the source is trying to hide itself, so it's up to 5. Brought down by 1 because you have the fancy sensor system.
Yep.
Right.
Give the GM a threat.
Huh?
I'll roll the ship sensor science.
I'm just gonna take that threat. I'm not gonna
Oh
spend
my god. This is stupid.
Okay, so that's 3 successes, but also a complication.
If you
Not
break the
enough.
sensors, I'm gonna have to deal with you personally.
That's a 19 and a 20.
This is so dumb.
Oof. So it's
Oh,
out
is
there.
that where it is?
Yep.
What on earth? I mean, we didn't succeed at the test though, so you shouldn't have given us that.
Oh, you succeeded at cost.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Mhm.
Oh.
So I
Lose
know
4
three-
power.
Oh
Ah.
god damn it. Okay.
So I know 3 people that would like to go out there and fix.
Because as
this
you're
problem.
scanning, you're like, you can't see it, and then all of a sudden there's this huge power drain, and then it becomes obvious where the power is going, and it's like, oh, it's going that way. Well, that's probably what's causing this.
Captain, the radiation seems to be centered on the debris field of the destroyed.
That's odd.
The Credo's without power.
Hmm.
I want you to get me a deeper scan now that we know that that's where the radiation signal is coming from. I want you to pour everything our sensors have in there. I want to
Yes,
know
sir.
what we're dealing with.
Engaging in deep scan of the Credo.
What's the difficulty of this?
Of the Credo? Oh, it's 4. Down to 3.
Okay. Give the GM a threat.
Spending 2.
Of course. Sensor science again?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oof.
4, 5.
So of your scan, we'll do this in order. Oh goodness gracious! I just saw the complication. So oh yeah, it was down to 3, so you actually made it. You're scanning the Credo. What are you scanning the Credo for?
Making a more in-depth scan to locate the source of that radiation, and more specifically.
It seems to be emanating from a device in their cargo bay. It's not emitting it as strongly anymore because its power's been cut.
Understood.
And as you're doing that scan, the Kismet suffers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage as there's a sudden surge of energy from the debris.
Guess what? Our resistance soaks all of it.
Yay!
But you also have a complication to play with.
Mm-hmm.
What resistance?
Shitballs.
So we take 5 shields.
And I think where's my cheat sheet? I don't have it here.
Wait, really? That entire that complication is going to bypass our entire resistance?
Well, I got some effects in there, so I had no effects would have done anything.
I mean,
I should
yeah.
treat that as piercing, more like. So I
Okay.
don't think that's enough to cut through all your resistance.
No, it's enough to cut through 4.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So that will make us take some damage, but it won't make us take.
That's only 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. You take 2 damage.
Okay.
I don't have to look up. I don't have to look up a breach chart right now.
Okay. I'm satisfied with that.
So am I.
Well, we also should have a breach macro roller.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Huh. We don't have it anymore. That's weird.
It's probably tucked
Oh.
away somewhere.
Oh, no, I just checked in the macros. I think the reason we don't have it anymore is because something was wonky with it, where it was like constantly rolling engines,
Oh, okay.
and like that's why the Kismet almost pretty much blew up that one time, was because the special roller that we had for rolling breaches just kept rolling engines.
But yes, you did get the information you have. You took a little bit of damage. It was a certain spike from that field. Sudden surge of energy. Sorry, I should say.
So there's a communication coming in for the
Well-
captain from engineering.
Engineering to bridge.
Bridge here.
Next time, warn us. Thanks. Shield's
we'll
down to
do our best.
50%. What the hell? I'm
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully, Captain. Was given a pointer here by Vata. What's happening up there?
We've managed to triangulate the source of the radiation, and we've gotten a little too close. But now it looks like we have a good fix on whatever this is.
Right. And do we have any idea how to fix it? Because at this rate, we're not going to be here for a long time. Or we're going to be here for a long time if... depending on how explosive this shit happens to be.
We're working on that right now.
Alright. Well, I'm sure Vata could take care of engineering for a while we actually deal with it.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm. I'm all yours, Captain.
Famous last words.
We'll have to be very careful with how we do it, because we don't know how damaged this object is that's putting out all this radiation. We could possibly lock a tractor beam onto it and try pushing it out to a safe distance.
Yeah, I suppose. I'll look into it. I'll make some calculations, Captain.
What do you think, Myth? You think that thing would be able to handle it?
Possibly, sir.
Keep in mind, you just to clarify, you haven't pinned down exactly what's giving it off. You just know where it's coming from.
You said it was a small little device.
The radiation on the Creto is a small little device, but the thing that's been caught, the center point, the locus of it, is in the debris field where the Martin's Reach was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought we were rolling for.
Yeah, I thought I was trying to pinpoint that, but I had my sheet over the map when that happened, so.
Yeah.
That's why I was puzzled when he said the Creto. I'm like, okay, I'll tell you what's on the Creto.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what we wanted was, I think what we meant to say was Martin's Reach, but just we have had such trouble keeping all these names together.
I don't know, I just didn't see where the ping was.
I'll take 2 threat and give you information about that.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple people have said let's actually just go out and get a closer look and get it instead of constantly scanning and constantly rolling complications.
No, it's we wanted to check on the place where the Martin's Reach used to be. It's just we misspoke. And so that caused us to scan the wrong thing.
I mean, you're under pressure. It's fine. It happens. Oops, that's way too small. Try again. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Actually, it would be that small because you're not looking at the whole thing.
Are we about to deal with a space radiation monster?
I hope.
Well, now that you say that, I do have enough threat for one. I mean, if the captain wants me to, I can. I mean, okay, yeah. There you go. So yes.
I should stop talking.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Scan, and feel free to roleplay a bit as the scan takes a little bit longer to narrow it down to the field.
Okay, so I think Vata is standing over Jameson as he is looking over and the inventory in the ship's shuttle bay. And he's just scrolling through the Angelo, the Neruda. Which one would I take? And then he glances over to her out there to check this out. I'm guessing that's not helping, and she shakes her head, I think.
Okay, so what do we got?
Awaiting.
Oh, still awaiting.
Yeah.
I mean, I can still go out and have a look with my eyes if you wish.
Please bring me. Please bring me.
Oh boy. This is going
Lieutenant Pend, I believe even the remarkable constitution of a Tellarite would not be able to withstand a level 4 radiation storm.
I mean, that's what the suits and an inoculation would help with.
And shields and armor and
I'm simply stating that the Kismet's resources are strange enough as it is handling a storm of this magnitude. Going out there in a less protected vessel would not perhaps be advisable.
Well, let's hope you get something interesting with your scan and we can beam it aboard.
I don't think there's enough of it for us to beam aboard.
I don't think it's a good idea to beam it aboard at all.
Oh no, I meant of the Martin's Reach for us to board it because it's gone mostly.
Yeah.
I think I meant to beam the thing aboard our ship, not us onto Martin's Reach.
I mean, if we really need to be safe about it, we could go over to the Ferengi ship and have it stabilized, and then
Captain,
beam it over there.
Yes?
there's a device in the wreckage of the Martin's Reach. Currently, it measures 2 meters by 2 meters. It has the radiation signature of a dilithium crystal containment unit, but has calcite crystals inside. It's disconnected from the ship, but it's powering itself. It seems to be the source of the intense radiation we're experiencing. And the container is currently growing at an exponential rate.
Oh, right.
The field will expand with it and get more power. We're looking at a day before this entire sector is experiencing radiation.
Before this entire sector is a complete no-go zone.
I have an idea.
48 hours and it'll endanger Narendra Station.
And after that, who knows?
Precisely.
We have to do something about this. Now. Any idea why this containment is failing? Leaving aside the horrific implications that these ships have been using Calcit crystals to, what did you say, power them?
Perhaps, but it seems more likely, based on the fact that this signature is growing, that the power to the containment unit may have been to stop it from growing.
So the idea is that if somehow you could repair the containment, it would stop the growth of the radiation?
Perhaps, sir. There is a device aboard the Creto that
Oh
is.
no!
Hmm.
Mr. Penn, we need to get our distance.
Recommend we use a tractor beam to throw the Creto away from us as well.
I don't think our tractor beam is strong enough for that.
Oh yeah, it is.
Is it?
It should be.
Let's see.
We'll manage.
No, it's a strength
beam.
4, so...
Yeah, strength 4.
Well, strength 4 is how hard it is to break away from it. What the difficulty is for a resisting ship to yank itself out. Theoretically, tractor beam could push intensely large things. It's just a matter of dumping power into it.
We don't have a ton of power to dump.
Well,
So, I'd rather tractor onto that, I'd rather tractor beam onto the Calcit
gas
crystal
station?
containment.
oh right.
I'd rather hook onto the Calcit crystal containment unit and fly away. Push away the Ferengi vessel with the tractor beam.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so if you're going to push it away, it's going to be, pardon me, it's going to be a control plus security test. Difficulty 2, assisted by ship's structure plus security.
Okay, I'll roll the structure security.
Is it
Um,
Pend or I who does the security thing?
Has anybody got better than 13 in control security?
16.
12.
Then
All right. Let's see how Pend fails. Sorry.
Oh, and we'll worry about it when you make the roll.
Could I use composure? But I very much doubt it.
I'll give it to you at increased complication.
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Yeah, that is peak Pend.
mm-hmm.
So what's the difficulty? Sorry.
2.
I'll give you 1 threat for a third dice.
Okay. I'll just take it.
Wow.
Oh, for the love of God.
Oh!
What did I say?
Do you have a value?
I do. Always has a backup plan.
For some reason that applies.
So I think he can re-roll those 2 complications.
Yep.
That was... Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Wow.
How much? Now, if you spend no power, you just have a lock. For each 2 power you spend, you move it 1 square away. So you can move it like here for 2, or as far as here for 4.
I think we should move it there for 4.
Yeah. 4.
And I think we generated a momentum.
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
About time.
And it explodes.
Scanning for increased radiation.
Thankfully, not. The source of the explosion was too far away,
All right.
and the Sarcona runs for it.
The Vulcan vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the exploding Frankie ship, they're like, no, we're just gonna leave now.
Okay, we'll put out an advisory for them later. We have to solve this problem here and now. So, what's it gonna take to stop the growth of this radiation?
Unknown, sir. Perhaps restoring power to the containment field would help, but without knowing exactly what is causing the calcite crystals to expand at this exponential rate, I'm not positive.
I am willing to give you guys a scientific method if you want.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I am full on board for that.
Okay, give me a moment to set it up a little bit because I was expecting a penned solution, so I didn't want to set that up and be like, and we shoot it. Well, I mean, give me a second.
I mean,
I
we
have
could
lined up
technically
for
tractor it into
a sun.
open space
We could
and
Right.
torpedo it.
It's one of those things that the thing is, we know that calcite are sentient, and so we want to avoid blowing these things up if we can avoid it. Because if we have to destroy these things, we've got a diplomatic incident on our hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we might already.
I mean, both with the Vulcans, the Cardassians, and the Ferengi.
Well, I'm saying because the Ferengi have
Yes.
calcite crystal.
Right.
Varnish.
But if we have to blow that thing up,
Yes, no, I understand what you mean.
that is going to make things infinitely worse.
Yeah. But I think towing it into a sun is our last option.
Yes, destroying them is a absolute last resort that I really do not want to have to resort to.
Mm.
Oh my god. Look at how many complications we've rolled.
Yeah.
I know.
Isn't it unnecessary?
I think we're at
Okay.
18.
So off the top, we're going to be looking at step one. This is, I believe this can either be an engineering problem or a science problem, depends how you want to look at it. But which way are you going to try to look at it from?
If it's the containment unit, I think it's an
So if
engineering
we're
problem.
looking at it from the containment unit perspective, engineering. If we're looking at it from the science perspective, then science. I am open for you guys to pick the direction you want. I do think, however, we have more science-minded folks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think roles wise,
I mean,
science.
I'm fine either way.
Okay, whoever you're choosing as your research lead needs to make a reasoned science roll, difficulty 1, to get a nice baseline of observation.
All
Okay,
right,
myth.
that would be me. And I have a focus in research, which I'm going to use here.
For some reason, it applies.
Yeah. Ooh, does the ship's computer science get to help?
This is just him thinking about it.
Yeah, but I'm saying during this whole check, does it?
No.
Difficulty 1, that's 3 moments.
Man, we never get to use the advanced research facilities for anything.
Time.
Ah,
Okay,
there
and
they
we generate
are.
2 momentum.
No, 3.
3.
The advanced research facilities will help you at the. What do those do again? I forget now.
We have them on the sheet.
The advanced research facilities basically let us ask a bonus question. It basically gives us a momentum to spend on bonus questions when we use the ship's computer science.
Heck, you guys have used computer science before. You just didn't ask me an extra question.
Yeah,
Have we used computer science today?
Yeah.
I think we did.
I don't
Yeah.
remember. I don't remember.
I'll have to
using-
keep an eye on that because
Yeah.
that's my kind of role.
So you got the role. So you have got a baseline scientifically of what it is you're dealing with. The scientific question you're raising with, and I'll give you a quick refresher on calcite. Calcite crystals, are, and actually, heck, Myth knows this especially because this is why you were assigned to this mission specifically because this is your thing. Calcite crystals are sensitive to heat and energy. So if you're going to do anything with it, you have to be careful with applying any amount of energy to the device. Otherwise, it's going to cause a complication with the crystals. You also have the problem that you're dealing with antimatter that is still contained. So if you breach the container, you also run the risk of it exploding. which is an energy source for the crystals. You don't have a ton of time on this, you know that, because it's the longer you take at this, the worse it's going to get. And since you're so close, the ship's at risk. Further, you can actually extrapolate with your positronic brain. I'll give you this, that it's entirely possible the station might not be so patient to let you think this out, and they may try shooting it because they're not exactly full of scientists over there.
Right.
Mhm.
Understood.
At this stage, we're in step 2. We're in the hypothesis stage. So what you're going to want to do is everyone can feel free to throw out ideas. Doesn't matter if you have science or not. But I would advise you to attach it to a focus.
Mhm.
Now, there is a certain right answer, quote unquote, in my head. I'm not going to tell you what that is, obviously, because that's the whole point. But if you come up with an idea that makes sense to me,
Mhm.
but not for the reason I was hoping, that will be the possible out of the box solution. Now, if you happen to choose that path to chase down, it's gonna have its own problems, but
Yeah.
it would still solve your problem.
I do have a question.
I have
Right
answers.
right before we hop into this, though.
Sure.
Because when I did the scientific method, I wasn't sure if this is how you're supposed to handle it. Are we allowed to use focus? Are we allowed to throw out focuses that we are as characters don't have?
You can. It's just that you risk. The problem is that when you get to step 3, and if say that's your out of the box solution, that
Right.
becomes the focus for that test.
Right. 'Cause I only ask because I remember running one of these where
Mhm.
the correct solution was security protocol, and none of the players had security protocol as a focus.
Yeah, it's entirely possible the quote unquote right answer is a focus you guys don't have, and you'll have to come up with an out of the box solution.
Mhm.
That's why that secondary right answer is a thing, because then that's you trying to make a focus fit.
Mm-hmm. Well,
It's
what
like
do we
instead of
have
securities, I'll use my knowledge of torpedoes. That's not quite what we're looking for.
What do we have for focuses? I don't think I have anything that'll help.
I have a few things that could help.
What do we got?
I have both warp field dynamics and reverse engineering.
Reverse engineering, potentially.
Yeah, I forgot I had it, but I checked my PDF one and it said there. And yeah, I had to extend the focuses list because I.
What about you,
closes.
Myth?
I've got a couple things, like different directions we could approach this from. If we want to approach it from the pure science angle, we could look at unified field theory to try and deal with the antimatter and take away the energy source from a possible explosion.
Okay.
I've also got linguistics if we want to try and get in contact with the calcite crystals in some way. And xenotechnology if we want to try to reestablish some sort of control over the containment unit.
I've got 2 things if it's possible.
What do you got?
Well, one is what's just been typed in Roll20, but that's something that could be done. But I've got a focus that might, like the out of the box type thing,
Yeah.
which is small craft, which I could remote control a shuttle to pick up the box and take it back to its home planet.
Yeah, I have the same one. I also have lead by example, in which before we could talk to it. If I remember correctly.
I think currently our best course of action would be to attack it from the hard science unified field theory approach.
For the solution for the thing, that is something you can do separate from the scientific method if you want to give yourself the advantage of buying yourself more time to give the device cover, if you will.
What?
Yeah, so Captain, would I be allowed to reposition the ship between the crystal and the station?
Okay, take care. This radiation field is rough.
I'll assist.
And actually, we've entered a new scene at this point, so you've lost more momentum. I should mention that when we started scientific method.
So, Lieutenant Aran?
Mm-hmm.
I would actually prefer you to work. Oh, so we're in a new scene, so that means all our power and shields are back.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna have him do a thing, but to get us more power and shields, but we don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something he's probably been working on for the last few minutes of, let's get everything working again.
Yeah,
Okay.
ever since Thought has told me stop looking at shuttles.
I
GM,
So in that
is there
case,
any complication range on that?
There's not. Not yet, anyway.
So yeah, Pend. You do it.
I'm going to go 3 and 3.
Could I assist with that?
You can.
Engines con, right?
Yeah. So GM, I'm giving you 3 and spending 3.
Wait, what?
Difficulty
Yep,
6.
please.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Creating an advantage plus the radiation field's not making moving around any easier.
Do I do con or engineering for this?
I'll give you engineering to assist, because you're
Alright.
trying to get the engines to not fight the pilot so hard.
So control engineering. 1 and 1.
Engines con.
Yeah. Rolling.
Yeah, so you've got 3 threat as well, Jim.
Yeah, I just added
Yeah,
it.
here,
I was
I
at 3 earlier.
Oh, I have dynamics.
Nice. We gain 1 back.
Cool. That's a good roll.
Yes, yeah, we do get 1 back, yeah. Actually, no, technically, could I pose something to you about that roll? So I have pushed the limits. So if the task was increased in difficulty due to our environmental conditions, such as the radiation and the interference, could that have reduced the difficulty of the roll by 1?
It would have, yep.
So we got 2 momentum out of that.
Awesome.
Good.
Nice spot, Pen.
Captain, we are covering the crystal. It's giving you a bit more time to sort out your scientific investigation.
Great. How are we looking, Myth?
Well, let's see.
Well, as research lead, you have to choose at least 3 or more. It's suggested 3 to 5. You propose solutions you want to even hypothesize about.
Mm-hmm.
If any of these are the right answer or the out of the box answer, I'll say yes, and we move on to step 3. If none of them apply, I'll say no. I gain 1 threat, I believe, 2 threat.
Yeah.
I gain threat either way.
I think you gain a threat.
I think it's a threat for the missing it.
Yeah. So definitely unified field theory.
Definitely unified field theory. I'd be willing to add in my my other 2 focuses from that as
You
well.
said
for
linguistics and
linguistics and xenotechnology.
Yeah. And I think there was
Thank you.
and I think Iran had reverse engineering.
Yeah, I think reverse engineering is a good one to add in as well.
Okay,
Cool,
I
cool,
think
cool.
those 4 will do it.
Agreed. So we'll go with those 4 focuses.
Technology. All right. So give me a. You don't need to do a thesis defense, but give me a 1 or 2 line explanation for unified field theory for each of the solutions. That way, I can get an idea if you're, because you can use the focus, but you might be using the focus wrong.
Right. Okay. For unified field theory, I'm looking at approaching it through the angle of determining exactly how this radiation is being emitted, looking at how we can like separate the antimatter out from the equation so we can deal more directly with calculus for crystal.
Okay.
For linguistics, I think it's fairly self-explanatory. We try and talk to the crystals.
Okay.
Xenotechnology is we try to actually xenotechnology and reverse engineering are fairly similar. I think honestly, we might want to collapse those into one. What do you think? Paul?
I'm thinking reverse engineering because this was a Federation ship.
Yeah.
Agreed. So we'll remove xenotechnology and we'll look at reverse engineering for being able to reconnect the containment unit to possibly reconnect containment unit to power or determine how it works so that we can try and figure out what's gone wrong with it.
Are you putting in any other focuses?
I have warp field dynamics still. If we might need to modulate engines in some way. If we're towing it back to the planet, or if we're towing it back to the planet.
Let's see. I feel like the 3 is probably the best we're going to deal with.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
So those are your 3?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
For step 3. Now, this is a rather difficult thing. Let me. At this part, I actually have to calculate a bit, so feel free to roleplay a little bit while I think about this.
Well, I think we have some fairly decent avenues of attack, Lieutenant. The question is.
Agreed, sir.
The question is what we want to take a look at first.
Indeed. I personally recommend we see about removing the antimatter from the equation so that we don't have the risk of a large-scale explosion.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd suggest tackling it from the engineering route first?
Quite possibly, Captain.
All right. So you're looking at an unknown difficulty. Basically, you are testing into the dark, trying to garner enough successes. With each roll, time is a factor here, but you don't know how long you have till the next bad thing. It's just something bad's going to happen. For each one you're testing, so of the 3 things, you need one of them or more requires you to hit the target number of successes to altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to a certain target number, I'll never tell you if this, because one or more of these might be wrong, just outright wrong. And if you
Right.
go with that one, you can keep getting successes, and won't say anything. I'll just say okay, next, and I'll just keep doing that. If you get if it's the right answer, you'll hit a target number, and I'll say stop, and and that will be the solution.
Okay. One question though. If for example, you don't have to tell us if there are. If we have more than one right answer in our 3 that we just picked, will there be different difficulties for the quote-unquote right answer because it is the right answer?
Yes, the out of the box one is actually it takes a bit longer to get it to work, but once you get it, you'll get it, and you'll know it, and I'll tell you if it's a weird one.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so again, I leave it to Myth as to what direction she wants to go in first.
Now, Myth is the primary roller. Anyone who has discipline 2 or greater in science, sorry, it was science, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In science, can roll with this.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you have the focus that we're using. It's just if you're rolling for a focus, that focus applies for that roll. So if more than one person has a certain focus, then they get to roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If they don't have it, it's fine. They still get the help because if you have discipline 2 or higher, it's assumed that you know enough of generalities that you're of help. If you have lower than that, you're kind of out of your depth and you're just kind of helping heavy lift stuff.
Reason science, you said?
It'd be reason.
Okay.
And the focus is.
I can do it.
I can.
Depends which focus you're shooting.
Follow me.
Yeah. Roll reason science. Wait. First off, Myth, take a momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Which focus are we starting with?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we're starting unified field theory.
Yeah.
Okay. Reason science. And...
All right.
And you already start off with 1 success, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, positronic brain.
Okay.
Oh man.
That's let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
Okay, continue.
Okay, let's roll it one more time.
Shoot. connected my keyboard. There we go.
I wouldn't even spend a momentum on this myth.
No.
All right.
You automatically have a success.
Cool.
So that's 5, 6, 7, 8 more successes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on the same one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Awesome.
Actually, and this is the out of the box one.
This is the out of the box one.
Because you're working on, because what you're dealing with and what you've discovered after some testing and some thought and some experiments inside the labs and doing some computer simulations, you're dealing with a unique field that is a combination of the Calcat psionic field and the antimatter warp field that's created, and they're kind of intermixing and creating this sort of multi-dimensional field. So the big problem is a matter of figuring out how to
separate them,
either separate them or contain them together, because the containment unit is containing the warp part of it. That's why it hasn't exploded, but it's not containing the psionic part of the Calcat.
And given how the Calcat crystals manifest, the Calcat psionics manifest themselves as radiation, that's what's causing this intense radiation field. Correct, Myth?
As far as I can determine, sir.
Understood. Well, in that case, it's simply a matter of unentangling the quantum, unentangling the antimatter field from the Calcat psionics.
Now, since you succeeded the scientific method, I can tell you that it's a matter of getting either the Calcat out of there, like physically move either the dilithium crystal or the Calcat crystal. One of them needs to not be in there anymore, or at least they need to be some distance away from it, so the fields don't interact anymore.
Well,
we could beam it out.
Easier solution would be dilithium. We have a, actually, because you can't replicate dilithium, that means you can't transport it either, right?
No, you can transport things that aren't replicable.
Yep.
Oh.
Just don't screw up, because it'll blow up on the other side.
Exactly.
Okay.
Recommend we beam out the dilithium rather than the Calcite crystals, sir.
Yeah.
We know a lot more about the functioning of dilithium crystals.
And the dilithium we could use if we needed to later.
Right. In that case, I leave that job to you, Lieutenant Aran. Lieutenant Myth, you give him whatever help you need in this engineering solution.
Understood, sir.
Great work.
Thank you.
And we're entering a new scene now that you've figured out what you're going to do. Now it's a matter of doing it.
Yep, and we lose a momentum.
A momentum.
Momentum.
I'm going to spend 2 threat.
Of course you are.
Son.
1. I said 1 and 2. I'll spend 1 more, so this actually hurts you.
Of course it. Of course.
And it's class 4. Actually, what? It goes up to class 5. Because I'm a nice GM.
Yes, you are. We're
So
such
nice.
a nice, benevolent GM.
That has piercing, but 1, 2, 3, 4.
Still?
I had to spend it. I spent to give it piercing again.
So that's 2, 4, 6. Our resistance tanks it.
So it pulses, and you kind of feel in the. Well, it's not kind of. They do hold.
Yeah. No.
All
Aww. Efrix.
Aw.
What now? Mom. Aww.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, boo!
Adorable. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna beam out some dilithium.
So it'll take at least 1 power.
Oh yeah.
It is going to be. Where are you beaming it to?
That's a good question. Because I'd like to be able to reclaim it.
I
But
don't
if
think that's the most important thing, honestly.
No.
Yes.
That's just being efficient.
Right now I'd like to just beam it out into empty space.
Yeah, I was going with that as well.
I'll give you a freebie here. What are you beaming out into space?
The dilithium.
Keep in mind that will explode once it's exposed, because the containment unit is why it's not exploding. It'll interact with any bit of matter, a speck of dust, and it'll go off.
Well, if we could.
Right, but it should only go off by the amount of matter that it's interacted with. So if we beam it out into vacuum, the only thing it'll be interacting with is single particles, which means that any antimatter explosion will be on a single particle level.
Huh.
Theoretically, you're right.
I've taken quantum mechanics.
Cool. I love that. My character would know that too, so.
Oh, it's great.
I mean, I have a few things that would work here.
But also sci-fi, so beaming it out into space means it explodes because sci-fi tension.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a because sci-fi, definitely, but.
And I'll actually give you a point on that one. It's like, I'll have to spend complication to make it blow up. I'll concede that point. I agree with you.
But you don't have the threat.
Hey, you guys have a generating threat. Don't worry about it.
But you don't have the threat.
I just need one more for a complication. Bring it.
Sure you do.
What? It costs 2 for a complication.
Just make me roll. I'll give you some threat.
So the difficulty of beaming it, if you're just beaming out into space, actually, if anything, that makes it a little harder because you're not beaming it to a pad.
Right.
It's let me do calculations. So first off, base difficulty is that, plus the fields problem, plus it's not on a pad, plus it's not going to a pad. It's not getting more difficult because you're actually doing it from the transporter room, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So instead of it being 10, it's 9.
Well, could we do it like this instead? I'm gonna use daring.
Well, hang on. So first off, couple things.
Mhm.
Brought down to difficulty 8 by the ship's sensor science.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So first off.
Yeah.
Continue.
Second off, I guess we're going to allow the GM to create that complication by giving him a couple of threats.
How about I present my theory first, and then
if you have an
bargain with the GM. So
if we want to try and beam it into like containment on a pad.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say.
Well, hang on.
We know.
So, what would the difficulty be for the Calcit crystals? If we wanted to beam them to the pad.
1 second. Base difficulty. Oh, sorry, why am I doing it that way? Base difficulty. It's not on a pad. It's going to a pad.
Yeah.
But it's this hard. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'll have to meet you for a second. I have to think.
Yeah, because if we do the Calcit crystals, it might actually be an easier check.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not doing anything funky with trying to site beam it into space.
No.
Aran, what are your values?
Raised by the computer, how do I think I got this job? It's fine, I read the manual, and old habits die hard.
Oops, no, I can't hear you. There we go.
Wait, what was that second one?
Old habits die hard.
No,
it's
no.
about stealing shells.
No, the second one you said.
The second one I said. How do you think I got this job?
Getting the Calcet to a pad would be 8.
Brought
So
down to
same
7 by the sensors, right?
Sorry, that's after sensors.
That's after sensors.
Okay,
It would have
so
been 9.
dilithium is easier. And beam it into a box that could contain it.
Yeah, I think beaming the dilithium onto a pad, but we'd have to get a containment there.
Yeah. I mean,
Beam it
that's an
into a
hour to
containment
build.
How hard would it
Fine.
be to put together a containment unit?
We have them.
Yeah.
Engineering.
We
but
have them
might be
for hard
opportunity
or
cost.
GM, is that kosher?
You can spend a threat and you'd have you'd grab one from storage.
Oh boy, I wonder why he's asking for a threat.
Uh-huh.
Fuck it.
I mean, that would
I
be.
will. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, please continue.
I will say the difficulty would be brought down by one because you'd be bring it to a pad, so it'd be down to 7.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. So here's the good news. If you get any, if you, so you give him the threat, get the thing. I'm
Yeah.
assuming you're gonna spend the threat to create a complication,
Probably.
but this stuff is gonna blow.
Yeah.
Here's my recommendation on that. Oh wait, shoot, that doesn't work. Never mind.
Aran, what are your? Actually, I think I can just pull up your character sheet.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can pull it up as in you sent it to me. No,
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Yeah. What's
what are your
the,
talents?
my talents? I have bold engineering, testing and theory, procedural compliance, and untapped potential. All of those apply, I think.
What does procedural compliance do?
It means I do things by the book, I think.
It's you spend momentum and it gives you something. It's from the operations book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me look real quick.
Good, I
Oh,
look as well.
yay! I have to open the operations book.
Yay!
GM,
Hello.
question.
Listening.
Could one of our shuttles have transporter capabilities, correct?
Oh yeah.
They shouldn't.
So could we take a shuttle outside of the ship and use that as a third point for triangulation?
I love what you're talking about.
You could create an advantage that way. Yeah.
And
we
let
don't
try and
have-
lower
we
it.
don't have any.
Say again. Sorry.
The procedural compliance requires we have momentum that we don't have.
All right.
You can spend with GM permission. You can use threat as momentum. Just as a heads up.
Cool.
You really want threat, don't you?
Just letting you know the rules. That's all.
Yeah, so if we use an extra shuttle as a triangulation point, would that lower our difficulty?
You would need to launch it. But if all you're doing is leaving, the problem is you have to move the shuttle, and the difficulty to move anything out here is pretty high. You wouldn't be able to use the shuttle would have to roll. It's a base 0, but it still adds 5 because of the darn radiation. It'd be like difficulty 5 to move the shuttle to
Right,
a
and then
point that
also-
helps you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking we just gotta try to do the difficulty 7?
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty 7 check? Because
Beam the other thing here.
so yeah, I'd say give him give him the threat for the containment box.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're doing the dilithium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So, and then, fuck it, I'd give the GM some threat, Aran.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'd
one moment. Just a moment. I just thought of something. Pen, do you have any determination left?
No, I spent it to reroll those. I mean,
That's right.
you
Never mind. I
could-
was going to say you could spend your determination to create the advantage, but
I mean, can't you? I know Ed's done it in the past, but can't GMs offer determination for immediate spends, like at a cost?
So here's the thing.
Hold on.
I could give you my determination to do that, but I think I want to save it because I want what I'm probably gonna have to do for Aran is he's gonna spend his determination here. Plus, I want you to spend 2 more threat to get another die.
Here's what I will offer to you, Pent. Because I know the rule. I just had to think. I had to think how I was gonna apply it. I can't read.
Oh no.
Join the club.
Heck, I could choose any one of your values as a negative in this case, and if I do that, and you accept it as a negative, because I can't force the negative on you. You have to be okay with it, with the price. You get a determination because I'm applying your value as a bad thing. The problem with that, in exchange, I get a complication for that because you're doing something that is, your character's acting with determination, but they're actually doing something that could endanger them or other people.
I wouldn't pend. I think we have enough resources, character resources, that we could pull this off. Without you having to.
So I could pick like any of the first 3, or hell, any of the 4. Like that's normally how you give it. You have to have a negative. You have to have a value that can be applied negatively. And I'm like, yeah, they all fit really.
Here's a question, because I know it's something that has been done in the past, but maybe it's only when we're in battle. Mm-hmm. Can the captain give his determination?
So here's what I want to do. I would give it to Pend, but what I want to do is I want to save it in case Aran desperately needs rerolls.
To answer the rules question there, Efrix, that is not required to give the English. The superpower of captains can be used at any time. They just have to be in communication with the target they're giving it to.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's I want to.
You want to hold on to it rather than creating the advantage. You'd rather use it in case of catastrophic failure.
Yes, I want to save it in case Aran desperately needs it.
But I extend the offer to Pend, and you can pull the trigger or not, because it's his negative.
It sounds like that's the offer, Pend, and you got to take it or leave it.
Yeah, I'm just.
I'd personally leave
it. You could argue around it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Could I offer a slight change to that?
I'm listening.
Could I take that in the case of a true catastrophic fuck up in the role that's coming up? As in, if something goes wrong with the transporter, could it be something I can take the negative really, and use the shuttles? In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I could form the complication in that you say Penn either sitting in the shuttle bay just ready to go in case things go wrong, and then if they do, Penn's the one who's getting it out there one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean,
so the complication will be him being out there.
I'll take that, and I'll take I am the storm, not the calm, as my.
I'll accept that. Yep.
I'll sing a song to you later about that.
Okay, so what we're gonna do here, because we gotta actually make the roll, guys.
Yeah.
Or not, because Penn will save you. Don't worry.
So, Aran, you are gonna burn your determination. I presume you'd be like, how do you think I got this job? Or what did you say? Proceed? No. What was the other ones you had?
Raised by the computer. How do you think I got this job? It's fine. I read the manual, and old habits die hard.
Yeah, I think how do you think I got this job would be pretty good.
Yeah, it would probably put me in the place of actual chief engineer.
What do you think? What do you think, GM?
Just to clarify, you guys did spend to give me to get the containment unit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. There's going to be a complication. Don't worry about it.
Of course you are.
Actually, I'll wait. It'll depend on the role. To answer your question, though, yes, that makes sense to me.
Yep.
Okay, so
give the GM 2 more threat.
How much determination am I spending?
One. You just spend one.
Cool.
So what that means is that you automatically have a die that rolls a critical success.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to spend all 4 of my threat. There is a complication as part of this, and your complication range has been increased to 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this is why I'm holding my.
Sorry, I misspoke. It increased to 3.
Yep. This is why I'm holding my determination in reserve.
All right. So let's see here.
And does Myth get to help out?
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I hope so.
Do you have at least engineering too?
Yes, I do.
I'll let you assist.
Okay.
And
the question is here.
Sensors engineering?
Yes.
I'll roll for that.
All right. I think. Well, since I have reason 9, control 10, and daring 10, I want to use daring because this is.
Ooh, yeah.
Weird.
I think you could argue daring.
Yeah, I would argue daring.
If you want to use daring instead of control, the complication goes up by 1 to 4.
Oh, fuck that.
Don't.
Yeah, because remember, daring is doing stuff slightly recklessly.
Yeah. If I were beaming it into space, I would use daring. But I am not. So, transporters, replicators.
Oh yeah.
Check.
All day. And we're aiming at a difficulty of 7.
For how do you think I got this job?
So it's task roll 3, complication range 3.
Yeah.
You already have 2 successes.
I'd like to argue to assist with my reason engineering because I'm pointing out all the ways that this field theory is entangled, and this is how you get it out of here. I'm providing the completely like math level understanding of what is going on here.
Yeah.
Your assistance will be increased. Complication will be increased to 2 because you're trying to say it fast enough that he can understand you while he's transporting.
No, I think I'm trying to say it slow enough he can understand me. But
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
fair enough.
We're also arguing specifically. Well, the other thing you could argue, Myth, is that specifically because we are using the unified field theory answer, we should be allowed to use unified field theory in this situation.
Agreed. That's
Oh,
what I
you
was
can.
gonna go
Oh
on
yeah,
next.
totally.
Do I get to use any of my talents?
What?
Do I need to use any of my talents?
You will be using bold because you have spent a threat.
Cool,
Yep.
cool. And that would put me at the task roll of...
Yep, task roll
Still-
3, complication range 3.
Cool. Then I am done.
Hit it.
Rolling.
Okay. hang on.
Reroll
You get to
that?
reroll.
Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna
I'm
reroll.
gonna give him my. Oh yeah, he can just
You
reroll.
can reroll that one.
Yeah.
He's bold.
So, re-rolling. It's still complication 1, the 3?
Yeah.
Complication range 3.
Alright, rolling. Still focus. Question?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
That's
no
better.
success, but that's
And then
yes.
Oh, yeah.
here's Myth.
Yes.
That's 3 successes.
That's 2. That's
3.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
9.
Yes.
We generate 1 momentum.
We generate a momentum.
I am so fucking relieved
Whoops.
right now.
Or I think
Sorry, Pen.
generate 2 because we
How
were at
did-
difficulty 7.
Well, how do you think I got this job?
I could just hear the GM seething behind his computer screen.
Oh, don't worry. My complication's still fired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 people I'm rolling for.
Except, guess what? We could spend that 2 momentum to negate it.
3, 4, 5. And person 1, person 2. Oh God, person 2.
No.
We're about to find out.
So here's what happens. Well, first off, let's make that go away because you beam the dilithium crystal into the containment unit, and it's nice and contained. Pend, you're sitting there. You have like one of your flight guys up in the shuttle control area, kind of keeping you apprised of how it's going if you need to jump out there right now. And there's this moment where everyone kind of holds their breath, aside from the android because they don't have breath. And there's a half moment of, oh, please don't blow up. And then it beams in. There's crystals sitting inside of a tube. And it's just there. And then all of a sudden, all of you feel a screech of pain that radiates into your head.
Ooh.
Hmm?
Now, all of you hear it. The
All of
android
us?
lets all of
Okay. Okay, interesting.
you.
Just wanted to
Captain,
make sure.
you take 2 stress from the ow. That's psychically loud. That's very stressful to be shouted at in your head. Pend, you're fine. You hear it, but you're otherwise fine.
Oh,
Efrix, you take 1 stress.
Okay.
Myth, roll me 2 challenge dice.
All right.
because you're an android. This doesn't affect you as well as it should.
Okay. I also do have 1 resistance.
Oh, add that too.
Yeah.
So 3?
Yep.
Okay.
Because, as we all know, Myth is an android.
That's
I'm an android. That's
3,
4.
4, 5, 6. So you reduce 4 of it. You only take 2 stress.
Nice.
All right.
As your system starts being overloaded with stimuli that it doesn't quite understand.
And is this lethal or non-lethal damage? Sorry, I should have asked that before. It's lethal or non-lethal stress?
Oh, I suppose, yeah, you would have had more resistance. It would have been lethal.
Okay, so lethal. Okay.
Well, yeah.
So all of a sudden it screams out into the darkness, a sense of fear and loneliness and being overwhelmed, and then all is quiet again.
Am I fine?
Yeah, you're fine. Take no damage.
Oh, fuck yes.
Okay. So it's quiet again?
Yep.
And I turn to whoever's at ops. How's the radiation field looking?
How is the radiation field looking?
It's decaying. It'll take some time, but it will eventually dissipate into
Okay.
the vacuum.
As soon as the radiation field has gone down enough, I want that damn space station on the horn.
I want to scan and see what's happening with the Calcat crystals as well.
I want a short trip to Risa.
But we
we're
don't
going-
get what we want, Iran.
We are going to epilogue this and time jump a bit, but in short, you are able to get in contact. It takes time for you to scan the crystals and get in contact with the station because the radiation is still pretty bad. So you end up spending a lot of time waiting for it to get easier, or trying to force your way through it. The station responds. The Frankie's really mad. He thinks you're the reason why that happened. You're able to easily explain to him, no, it wasn't, because it wasn't. You have the Calcat crystals are dormant. They've kind of gone into they're in their normal, not dormant, but they're at their normal state where they would be, where they normally would be on their planet. And since it's such a small amount, like the amount of crystal is about a meter by meter. And for crystals, that's pretty big. Like at a personal level, that would be very dangerous. But at starship level, that's not really that big a deal.
Yeah.
You could easily transport it, move it around, just as long as you don't
Yeah. Good luck our tractor beam on it, bring it into cargo bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Ferengi does eventually let you know that, because I imagine you investigate into the station, try to pin down exactly what happened to the whole smuggling thing. In short, you don't get any resistance from the station at that point because, frankly, you're the reason they didn't get blown up. It would appear that somebody came by and unloaded a bunch of the crystal in a special containment unit. There was a big swap organized by the Daemon of the Creto, and various people got hold of it. The Federation people on the Martin's Reach, the Creto Daemon, of course, had a bunch. The Cardassians on the Prim, who are more than happy to get rid of those damn things because it nearly blew up their ship.
Mhm.
The Vulcans, who knows? They kind of took off. You
Yes,
don't know.
I'm going to be submitting a report to Starfleet about that, and given that they are a Vulcan ship, probably under Federation jurisdiction, I'm sure they can be tracked down soon enough.
Be sure to note that in your fleet log, so
Yes.
because that could be a hook for.
Yep, I will
Um,
note that in my fleet log. I just need to remember the name.
And I'll write it in the Discord. And last thing, now you dig into it a bit more. And it's
So,
like, well,
wait,
who's?
I got the question I have to ask
Mhm.
because I assume we're talking about someone who brought these crystals. Did they ever see this individual?
Yes.
Was it a woman with purple hair?
Yes.
Motherfucker!
And she sold it to the Daemon of the Creto, and before the swap started, she got on the first ship out of here and left.
Which ship was that?
for some reason, the station commander doesn't have it on his files. He's very mad about that.
Shit.
She covered her tracks well.
Oh well.
This isn't over.
But yes, you have solved the mission, you've accomplished the goal, and you've saved the sector. And I'm glad I don't have to share notes with the other GMs about the fact that there's a massive radiation field out here.
Oh no.
But that is.
You
But
can't see it here, but I'm bowing. I'm bowing.
that is the end of the episode, The Shadows of Garnet.
Nice.
That was good.
Whew.
That was good.
episode.
That was really good.
Ooh.